Good evening, ladies and germs and boys and girls. How you doing? And welcome to the Dr. Kev Show. I apologize in advance. I've had a very busy day. I'm trying to finish up a small amount of troubleshooting and repair work on an instrument here. Long COVID is kicking my ass, so there might be a lot of ums and ahs, but please forgive me as we get through this. So a question came up on the Ernie Ball Music Man forums. It's one that comes up quite a lot that many people ask me. If you have a modern style tremolo bridge, that's the style that has two mounting posts instead of the old 6-screw style, what's the appropriate height to set the bridge at relative to the body? And I'm going to answer that question for you right now. Okay, so let's have a look at this lovely guitar in front of me here. There we go. We can get some focus going on. All right, so here's my bridge. In this particular case, and this will be necessary, I think, for you guys, okay, I have removed the springs from the back of the guitar so I can remove the bridge, all right? And there's a reason that you'll see why I want to do that, okay? Now, let me first explain what goes on here, and I've taken the liberty of already drawing for you a beautiful little picture. All right, so this here is the mounting screw. Can I get some, yeah, that's all right there. So this here is the mounting post, okay? That's this guy and this guy here and here. This is the mounting post. This here is the body of the guitar. All right, it's the mounting post. And the mounting post has a V-shaped groove near the top of it. That's right here, okay? It has a V-shaped groove. And the front edge of the bridge where it meets the mounting post has a knife edge on it. And that knife edge sits right in the apex of that groove, okay? And then what happens is that the tremolo pivots up and down on the knife edge in the edge of the groove. And because there is no moving translational sliding motion anywhere, it helps to reduce friction, which improves our tuning stability. This is why two mounting post modern bridges are better in terms of reduction of friction than the 6-screw bridges, the old classic vintage style. All right. So what's important to us here is we want to get the bridge nice and low to the body, but without the bridge plate touching the body, because that would actually give us a lot more friction. Because for that to happen, the mounting post would have to be too low. And then the knife edge wouldn't be sitting correctly on the apex. It would be sitting somewhere else. It would want to slide down, but it can't because of the body, blah, blah, blah. Not a good deal, all right? So we want to have just a tiny gap in here between the bottom of the bridge plate and the body, okay? A little tiny gap in there. Why do we want it low? Some people like to set it up quite high. It's not going to make any difference to the functioning of the tremolo system, but there's one reason why I like to have it as low as possible, okay? As you can see, I've also drawn very badly a saddle adjustment screw, and here's a string heading off up the neck, all right? When the bridge plate is down at its lowest, actually, let me restart that sentence by saying the string needs to be at a certain height over the body here to give me the string action that I want somewhere over the neck, all right? Now, that'll change from guitar to guitar, okay? I'm not saying measure from the guitar top to the string. That's not what I'm saying at all. But let's imagine the string needs to be at a certain height here to give me the action I want up the guitar neck. Well, if the bridge plate is at its lowest possible amount to the body, the saddle has to come up higher to meet the string, okay? That gives me maximum downward adjustability. If the bridge is up high, the saddle has to come down low to give me the string action that I want, all right? And generally speaking, people don't run out of action, they don't run out of adjustability upwards, they run out of adjustability downwards for the saddle height. So having the bridge down as low as possible is the goal here, all right? And also, we want to make sure that the two sides of the bridge are approximately equal in height. It doesn't have to be 100% spot on, but we don't want any large, obvious difference, okay? Because we want those knife edges to sit nicely into the posts. And if the posts are at different heights, the knife edges are a little twisted compared to the axis of the V groove, all right? So we want these to be at about the same height. So how am I going to do this? All right, what we're going to do is use something very thin and flexible even with the pick guard installed. This is why we want something flexible. Something nice and thin and flexible that's going to be able to slide in under the bridge. All right? What I'm going to do here, all right, is I need to make sure first that the knife edges are sitting correctly into the mounting posts. So I'm going to stick the mounting posts in place, all right? I'm also going to take the mounting posts and I'm going to unscrew them, so that means counterclockwise, just to make sure that I already have clearance, okay? You don't want to screw them all the way in because then it's, oh, geez, that's stuck. You don't want to screw them all the way down because then you're starting from a position that's too low. We want them to start, if anything, a little too high and work downward to the place that we need to be, all right? Then I'm going to take my bridge and I'm going to make sure that I place it correctly into the V groove, and I'm going to maintain that pressure in here, all right? This is why I've removed the springs, because the springs are going to do their own pulling and make it more difficult to do this, all right? You see it moves so easily there, but I'm just going to use that finger just to keep the knife edges into the V grooves of the posts. And then I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to slide it in there, all right? And I'm going to find out at what point I can't get that in there. Now, a piece of paper like this is about, let me think, that's about 1/4 millimeter, which is about 10/1000ths of an inch. I like to go even lower than that, personally, just because I can. So I'm going to use my feeler gauges, all right? These are calibrated blades, very, very accurately machined to be a precise thickness, all right? So here, I'm going to use, this is mark number 10, this is 0.1 millimeter. That's 4/1000ths of an inch. As you can see, it's super flexible, all right? So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to push the bridge in place to make sure it's where it's supposed to be, and I'm going to slide that in on either side. And it goes in with a little bit of resistance, but I want to make sure that the resistance is the same on both sides. And I'm noticing that in this case, it's a little more loose than this side. In other words, it slides in a little easier over here than it does over here. So I'm going to lower this. Lower this means screwing it in, all right? So I'm going to go down 1/4 of a turn. That's 1/4 of a turn, so 1/4 of a full turn. And now we shall check and see, all right? Now that goes in with a little bit of resistance, and that's still easier now. So I'm going to screw this one in. Again, I'm going to go 1/4 of a turn. There we go. Come on out. There we go. Let me try again. That's going in. This is now loose. It's lower on this side than it is on this side. Okay, so again, I'm going to go 1/4 turn. Now, I have to push it in. It wants to stop, but then I push it and it goes in, and that's a good sign, okay? And over here, it's still loose. So I'm going to go 1/8 of a turn, I think, on this side. It just feels like that's the right number. That one's really tight, isn't it? All right, so that goes in with a little bit. That's still tighter on this side, but it still goes in. So I'm going to go another 1/8. There's 1/8. It's still going to go in. Remember, I'm still maintaining pressure back here. A lot of pressure, but it slides, and a lot of pressure. It's about the same amount of pressure on both sides now. I'd say there's a little, I'm going to go 1/16 back. There we go. Yeah, that's wonderful. So my feeler gauge slides in both cases, just about. I have to push it to make it go in, but it slides in. That tells me that I have just the tiniest amount of clearance there, all right? You don't have to do it quite as accurately or crazy low as I do, but that's the way that we do it, all right? Like I said, you can use a piece of paper. In this case, the piece of paper, well, let me push it in there. Piece of paper goes in, all right? Yeah, that would do. So that's all right. And that's the job. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinstall the springs into the back of the guitar and put the strings on, and we're ready to go. All right? Good. Was that fun? Did you have a lot of fun today? I hope you had fun. No, but seriously, if you found it useful, share, okay? Doing a useful video for someone means nothing if other people don't get to see it. So share. That would be great. Thanks, everybody. Any questions? Put them down in the comments. And other than that, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all soon, okay? Thanks. Bye.